which is why we are calling on the FBI to release all the information that it has. Even Director Comey noted that this new information may not be significant, so let's get it out.
Well, I guess all she really has to do is give Uma a call, if she could find Uma, because Uma is not with her. Uma, who is glued to Hillary Clinton, has been missing since the revelation on Friday. Joining us now as we welcome you back to America Talks Live. And by the way, 877 Newsmax, 877-639-7629. We're joined by Judicial Watch senior attorney Chris Fedeli with more on the FBI's decision to reopen their investigation. Hey, Chris, how are you, sir?
Pretty good, thanks.
All right, so I know that, first of all, I've always said this about you to your representatives and probably to you in the past. You guys have done such great work. I believe that you're very much responsible for getting more information out there than we have gotten from any other source, and kudos to you and to Judicial Watch. Having said that, what do you think, and I know it's speculation, but you know more than most, what do you think could be in those emails? Do you think it's, I mean, I just had Andy McCarthy on. He said even if there's classified emails on Anthony Weiner's computer, well, they already know that her classified emails wound up all over the place and they didn't care. So what do you think they're looking at here? Or what might they find that could be problematic for Hillary/Uma?
Yes, great question, and you're right, this is all speculation at this point. However, there was some good reporting over the weekend which seemed to suggest that what could be in there is information about the Clinton Foundation that has not come out yet, and information about the Clinton Foundation and how donors to the foundation were treated with State Department business, and that obviously could be huge.
Yeah, well, absolutely, that would be huge. Do you think there's any way that we're going to see anything or learn anything? Because it's an ongoing investigation, a criminal investigation. How could Comey come out and make a statement about the status of the investigation or what's been found, as Hillary says, please tell us what's in there, without tipping off the criminal, if there is one, and that would be Hillary and Uma?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. This is a very unique and unusual case. Comey's hands were kind of tied to do this very unusual step, which, as you say, normally would tip off, people who are under investigation. His hands were tied by this by a couple of things. First of all, there was Loretta Lynch meeting with Bill Clinton on the tarmac of the airport in the middle of the investigation last summer, which immediately caused everybody to cry foul and say, how can this possibly be unbiased? So Comey said, you know what, I have to take more responsibility for this to assure the American people this is not political. So he came out in July and made his big speech, which is very unusual. You don't usually announce the results of the findings and criticize the target when you're not going to charge somebody criminally. But he felt it was necessary to make sure everybody believed it was fair as best as he could. And then after that, of course, he was called before Congress to explain his decision, and they made him swear under oath, you will update us, promptly if any additional information comes forward. And he said, yes, I will do that, to again assure Congress, the congressional Republicans, that this investigation was going to be fair and even-handed. So that's kind of what Comey, the situation he was in. It was unusual to begin with. This is just more unusual because of the very unique situation of investigating someone in the middle of a presidential campaign.
Yeah, unusual, probably unprecedented. We could go back to Casper Weinberger being indicted by Special Prosecutor Lawrence Walsh in 1992, and Walsh going out of his way to put George H.W. Bush's name in that indictment, which a lot of people thought was unfair. And that was on October 30th or maybe November, but it was very late, as this was. But let me ask you, am I correct that you guys got Uma under oath to answer questions about her emails and her servers and all that?
Yeah, that is exactly
right. And didn't she swear under oath that she had handed everything over?
She definitely swore under oath that she had done everything she thought that she needed to do to comply. And she talked about, and we asked her, are there any other emails out there, any other devices? She's like, I believe I've given everything that has work-related or Clinton email-related, stuff to the FBI or the State Department. So, of course, now from what, speculating, I mean, she,
Right.
what we've read in the press is she didn't realize or what have you, but yeah, no, this does not look good for Huma.
Yeah, well, if she believes, then that's maybe, her out. Who the heck knows? Let me ask you this. Again, if Anthony Weiner, I don't know. I mean, we know what he's under investigation for, allegedly sexting with a 15-year-old. If he took the emails from Uma's, account or another device and transferred them onto his computer, who's in more trouble, him or Uma?
Oh, yeah, that's certainly a very distinct possibility. If he took the emails and he was not authorized to have them, yeah, he's in trouble. If Huma was being, using an additional computer and really not paying attention to where her work emails went, she'd be in more trouble. So, yeah, could go either way.
Well, she says that she never deleted any emails from her box. In other words, she says, I think she said in her answers to your questions at Judicial Watch, I'm like most people. I just figured that if they stay in my inbox for X amount of time, they'll automatically, be deleted. So that's carelessness right there. If in fact she had classified information on it, no?
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. It absolutely is carelessness, and it's
is it criminal though?
Well, it's going to really depend on, exactly the things that James Comey outlined over the summer, which is, it's technically criminal, yes, to be very careless with classified information.
Right, but it wasn't
he said that's a violation, but we don't prosecute it.
Only intent, right? Only intent.
We only prosecute it if we suspect there was an intent to deliver classified to the media, to the foreigner, to anybody you're not supposed to deliver it to.
Chris, this is relevant now to the presidential election. Absolutely. I'm of the opinion that if she loses, Obama pardons all of them. Maybe even if she wins, Obama pardons them. Andy McCarthy disagreed with me because he said, why? It's the Justice Department's the one that's going to have to prosecute, and they just won't prosecute. And I got a feeling that that's where we're headed, certainly if Hillary wins. Unless maybe, and maybe not even if they find something related to the Clinton Foundation, because now we're learning, whether it's true or not, it's been reported, that the Justice Department has put the lid on the FBI, made it very difficult, and discouraged them from investigating the Clinton Foundation. So even if they find emails, new revelations related to whatever, Hillary's original emails or national security or the Clinton Foundation, if Hillary wins and we have a Democrat Justice Department under her, nothing's going to happen to her one way or another, correct?
I think, you may be exactly right. Yeah, whether it's a pardon or whether, the Justice Department just shuts the investigation down, yeah, that would be the result in all likelihood. However, keep in mind that there's still a lot of other options out there. Congress could investigate. There could be an independent prosecutor. And we here at Judicial Watch, we have lawsuits that are related to these subjects in federal court. We have lawsuits under the Freedom of Information Act, and one is, going through discovery right now. So we will not stop looking at these things for sure.
Well, that was going to be my last question to you, Chris, and that is that you filed a lawsuit for the FBI records, all of them related to the investigation, the email investigation by the FBI, and the tarmac meeting between Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton, correct?
Correct.
And what do you hope to learn?
Yeah.
What kind of records? What can you learn from what are you seeking that might be helpful from that meeting? I mean, it was a meeting on a plane. What kind of documentation do you hope to obtain?
There's always documentation. There's always discussions about things like this that are so publicized and in the media. It could be discussions between people in the Justice Department Public Relations Office, and other officials. It could be people looking at government integrity issues. But there's always people talking about inside the government when something like this goes on.
Yeah.
And oftentimes those discussions are very revealing about what actually happened and how seriously it was viewed. So, yeah, getting those discussions out, getting those emails out, conversations, what have you, it's always going to be very enlightening to the public. And this is a case where the public should know everything there is to know about what appears to be real impropriety.
Absolutely enlightening. That's this interview has been very enlightening to me, and I'm sure to the public and Judicial Watch. Like I said, keep up the good work because you're doing the work of in many cases the government. And thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, Chris Fedeli, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, well, I don't know if you happen to see this 13-year-old girl. We're going to highlight her in the Gimme 5. She was at a Trump rally. And the thing is, she looks a little more than 13. She looks kind of 15-ish, but it would have been a little more powerful if she looked 12. But she's 13, and she gave I predict you are going to hear more from this young lady, and you're going to need to see it. We'll have all that and much more when we come back. So keep it right here on the Steve Malzberg, on America Talks Live with Steve Malzberg.